All right. Well, this might be all the people that we have, which is a little bit too bad because we've had such good turnout in the past, and I'm not sure what everybody's up to. I did get a couple people told me that they were out of town this week. So maybe it's just like the good weather and you know, everybody's busy celebrating stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, so let's see, Robert has been here before, but Thea, this is your first Gleaning meeting.
Mhm.
And I guess I was curious, I know so Robert, just for your information, Thea is a board member
All right.
and she's awesome.
I met a lot of board members last week.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Ed and Lori and Althea and Matia and Iyer.
Yeah. Awesome. Good.
I'm not a
How,
member. I'm a lowly employee.
Yes.
well, yeah. I don't think you're lowly either. You're pretty high up
No,
there.
you're in charge of something. I see your name everywhere, so you must be important.
Well, I do have to do stuff.
All right. Oh, that's nice. They're always the best.
Yeah. But I was really hoping Alan was going to be here. I don't know where Alan is. I guess I shouldn't just like call people out in the recording and be like, where are these people? But no,
Mm.
it's totally fine. It's just, yeah, we're I was thinking that I don't know if you guys read my long email, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be me and Alan kind of planning the first glean that's gonna happen. And I hope that it's going to happen. Again, I feel like with the gleans, it does depend on, us getting enough volunteers and there actually being fruit for us to pick. And I have not started calling places yet, but I was going to start doing that probably tomorrow, and start calling some of these sites. Um,
Last year there were golden plums ready July 18th,
okay.
and they were picked. I think that was the first real glean of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. But hi Paisley.
Hey there. Was that the golden plums that Ed had gave the one in Port Orchard that was a no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
When
what?
is
It was
we have
Dosha Reed.
yeah, I don't know that name. I think he was the one that knew it. Uh I'm trying to think of the gal that's over in Minette and she had the golden plum. Carol skipping my mind. Anyway, we have very beginning of August, or sorry, very beginning of July, we have the Silverdale apples that are at the port. They're yellow transparents. Yeah, and then you had a few gleams in the Port Orchard area
Mhm.
that week.
Yeah,
Oh
so
wait,
end of
my bad. That was you're talking about the end of June, not that week of your going away party. My bad. Sorry.
oh yeah, you guys were gonna have the going away party on the 13th, right? And that's a Saturday. So
Mhm.
we should just do a glean and that should be the going away party.
Well, glean and then go out to eat.
Oh, okay. I won't say no to that. No, so just looking at Airtable, I see Brianna Schultz has some let's see. Oh, sorry, this won't work out. Never mind. Anyways, there are sites that say that they have stuff ready around this time. So it's just a matter of calling them up and seeing how that's gonna go. So I did I feel like there's there's like a lot that we can talk about, but if we're looking at the agenda, I said Alan Lowe will be taking notes. Well, he's not here today, so it's okay. It's recorded, so I'll add in any notes that we need. We are going to increase the meetings to once per week. And then that is something that I was like, I think this would be beneficial for us to do. But after I'm gone, it really is going to depend on what you guys want to do for these meetings. And if you think it's beneficial to have them, you know, twice or every week, or if you want to just have them every other week. I think my idea with these meetings is that they're really a place to just connect with the other people and just make sure that everything's going smoothly, and that if you have questions, then you can talk about it at these meetings. Just a place to like feel supported by the other people, other volunteers who are doing this work. So that's kind of the idea for these meetings, and that's the goal.
Now I think if you're going to have a clean on a Saturday, you should have a meeting on a Wednesday, so that the Glean planner, whoever that person is, can tell the group, this is where we're going to be on Saturday. This is what time we really need to be there. And for the equipment wrangler like me or whatever to be there, this is the equipment we need. And don't forget the sign, because I read through your emails and the handbook and took that ladder training today. I did all that. And then I just kind of looked through it, and it's like, there's like, you never mention anything about signs. Well, signs are down here in this thing for Kitsap Harvest, and then there's things are all over for equipment wrangler. So I'm like, crates. Do you want the crates? Should we clean the crates before we go, or clean them there? There's kind of, I didn't know it. Catch up on that until I started reading the documentation today. So there's, you know, the Glean planner, should be that Wednesday meeting. Should be Glean planner going, okay, this is what we got for this week, and then go from there instead of a free for all, because you're going to want somebody after you leave to say, this is what we're doing. This is what time we got to be there. This is how many places we're going, 3 or 4. They're all in this area, or maybe they're not, or maybe we don't have anything for that weekend, and you just tell people on that Wednesday. At least the people that need to know, the wranglers, the leads, the planners, they ought to all be here on a Wednesday meeting. Because
Yeah.
you're going to end up getting caught in emails between Thursday and Friday with other people having schedules and going, oh, wait a minute, Saturday, the lead, I'm the lead. What's going on? And I can see a lead going, well, I forgot to come to the Wednesday meeting. What's going on? Oh, you know, that's the important one. So
I like
that's just
that.
my 2 cents.
Yeah. Oh, that helps me, Robert. I'm a vocal. That's how I receive my information best, is vocally. If someone's telling me, I hear it. And so by Wednesday, your Glean planner should have a good, solid idea of what's on the plate, and then having that as kind of a connection moment to vocalize everything that's been planned up to that point. That's
Because
yeah,
somebody can
I
get
kind of
a
like those
text.
verification steps.
Yeah, because somebody can get a text or an email and they go, okay, but I have a question. Well, I should have been there on Wednesday. That has to. So you should make it a requirement that all the leads and the planners that are in charge for that weekend, whoever they might be. It might not be everybody is a lead that weekend. It might be just one lead for 3 sites, or maybe there's 3 leads for the 3 different sites that we go to as a group. And yeah, you know, I think Wednesday should be the meeting that the planner comes out and just tells everyone, this is what we're doing. And then leave Thursday and Friday for like polishing up little details or something. If people has a question, they can call the planner or the lead. Okay, got to make sure you do this. This is our first one. Don't forget about this, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. My thinking was that it would just all be in an email. And I guess like I like the idea of requiring the meeting, but I'm just thinking like if somebody has something and they can't be at it, right? Like we have to make sure that information's still getting to them. So like having that email and like strongly recommended
Oh,
meeting that you attend.
when I used to do submarine acoustic trials, I had 40 people I had to keep track of, for loads, the rides, the offloads, all the business. And,
Mhm.
we used to use a thing called a task assignment, where you had a box. I could send you something if you'd like to take a look at it. It just says trout. It was a trout register. Well, it would say Glean Planner and Glean Lead and who it is with their phone number and their email address, and then go right down the list. And this is what time I need you there. And just it was just who were the individuals in charge of that Glean, and then
Mhm.
if you have any um, time, chronological time, or whatever you want to put in there.
Mhm.
This is what we kind of used to do to keep everybody informed. And
Mhm.
it was a fluid document. It was just, it could change. People call them, I can't make it. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, that was my idea too behind the Glean planner document
yeah,
that we just have like Glean notes, and people just
yeah.
put down notes there and then it's just a source for everybody to go and look and be like, oh, look, somebody, you know. Um, so yeah,
If
I
you want
don't,
to, I'll take a look at what I have from one of the old trials. And
yeah,
it was all in Word, Word and Microsoft Excel, mostly
uh-huh,
Word.
okay. Yeah, yeah, that's great.
You might find
Um,
it helpful. You might not. You might go too much detail, or
no, I don't think there's anything wrong with too much detail. I feel like that's it's always better to just have, backups and more backups. Um, And what I was
that's
going
it.
to say though is that the cluster gleans on Saturdays will always be starting at 9 a.m. So that is one thing that will be nice to just have consistent. So obviously it's going to depend where we're gleaning when you're going to have to leave the warehouse, right? So like, but I
Well, then,
think that'll be up to the equipment wrangler to be like, you have to be at this place with the truck at 9. So
right.
you figure
But he
that
has a
out.
whole bunch of stuff he has to do before that, like go to the warehouse, who has the key,
Mhm.
find the person that has the key, and then get into the warehouse. The whole 9 yards of, all right, we're
Mhm.
gonna load all these, and load all these, and load all these, and then
Mhm.
okay, I get a half hour to get to where I need to get. So
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, Robert, let me connect with you. So, I'm gonna, I feel like I need to get working on like spelling out exactly what the equipment wrangler needs to get because I think it'll be pretty much the same for every glean and then you might use things and you might not.
okay,
But like,
yeah,
always get 2 ladders, um, 20 crates, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, like I think talking with you and figuring out like where to put that in the warehouse and have it be accessible and like all in one central location. Um, I think, yeah, that's like going to be really important. So you're not having to go, searching through things. Um,
when Ed and I were there, we did a distribution for Port Orchard last week. Instead of taking 2 hours, it took 3 because we were just lost in some of these places. And we got back to the warehouse late and put everything in the refrigerators. But I started looking around the warehouse. I go, hey, Ed, these are the new ladders. Yeah, we got new ladders. And then what else do I take out on a glean? He goes, there's crates right there, all folded down. And I go, oh, cool. And they were all right there in one area, right as you walk
mhm,
in on the right. And I
yeah.
don't know if you bring, I don't know if gloves. Do you wear gloves? Like surgical gloves? Or do you wear regular gloves? Do you bring that stuff? Because I see ladies in there and sorting all with gloves on. And then,
Mhm. Yeah,
uh,
we've just done hand sanitizer.
yeah,
So we just
and then
give people hand
stuff
sanitizer.
like that and for the list. Because I saw it in a bunch of different areas, like where you said how the glean goes. Put out the signs so people know where to come. Okay,
Mhm.
that's something for the equipment wrangler to find the signs and make sure they're on the truck before they go.
Yeah.
You know, as I just kind of started picking out things that I would have to bring. So
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah,
gonna be a list. There's gonna be a
if you have
list
a big
and
list, that'd be awesome too.
yes, yes, we'll definitely have that. Yeah. No, and I want to create these like my idea was to create like a lot of them, like I think we were saying like 8 gleaning kits, right, Paisley? But a gleaning kit would kind of have like it just be like a tote that has all that stuff that all the like kind of little stuff that you would need for a glean just like in one place. And it have like a first aid kit and stuff like that. But I think we're just gonna create one because other people weren't so keen on the idea. So we're just going to create one, and that's going to be for the cluster glean. So there'll just be that one central tote, and that's the thing you grab. And then it'll be a checklist of other things.
You have like a crate or something, you can put them all in, and that's just something I can throw in the back of the truck. Gleaning
Robert,
tools. Yeah,
I was thinking of using 2 pallets and having a pallet as a floor and then another pallet upright, and then somehow I brace it, but then in the upright is where you put all of your apple pickers, and then on the flat piece is where all the crates would go, and then if it had wheels, you just push the whole thing onto the truck,
yeah,
and then and so then you're not like having to move a bunch of multiple pieces. It could stay as a kit. And see it have wheels. It doesn't exist, and I don't have it built right now. I don't think it would be hard to build. I can see it. It's easy, but yeah, it would be nice if it's just kind of like a package deal. You come in and you move it onto the truck, and then it comes off the truck just as easily, because at the end of the day, people want to be done.
you gotta go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Or even, yeah, that's a great idea. Like even having pallets in the back of the truck so you can just put the can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
No, yes, I can.
Oh,
My
okay.
husband's screwing and working on the roof. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. Um, but yeah, like having pallets in the back and then we just put the fruit in crates right on the pallets and then that would make it way easier to get off the truck. Like it wouldn't be left to the 2 equipment wranglers to just like have to unload all that fruit. Like they could just like pallet jack it. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we found out
Yeah.
that if they're further back in the truck, they're easier to pull off with the pallet jack because you got a
Mhm.
little bit there.
Is weighing the fruit as it's going onto the truck going to be part of that procedure? So that's done by the time it gets to the shop?
yeah,
Okay.
that's the
Yeah, so
plan.
then a scale would be a part of that kit. Cause yeah, that's cool to have it all on a pallet in the future. Cause if you had a pallet scale, but
Oh,
yeah, if all your weighing's done initially out in the field could still be done one crate at a time as it's getting loaded onto the pallet. That's a good idea.
yeah. Yeah, because you're right. At the end of that day, you don't want to be like, now we got to move 20 pounds of fruit, or not 20
Well,
pounds,
and
20 crates.
yeah, and that's when people get hurt because they've been working all day, and at that point their bodies are tired and they're no longer engaging their core, and that's when you goof up your back.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that reminds me, Robert, so I saw you signed up for the equipment wrangler for the first glean. Um, do you happen to have any friends you could recruit to join you as that?
I don't know.
Okay. Because
I saw
yeah,
there was somebody else in there too. There was one of 2 spots when I clicked on the spot, so I couldn't find who the other person was.
yeah, so we want to make sure that the equipment wrangler is always 2 people because it is going to be like some lifting, and it's always better to have 2 people just for safety reasons, for comfortability reasons. So we'll have to make sure we fill that spot.
Okay, there was somebody that already selected that, and then I
Oh,
went back.
really?
It said 1 of 2, so then I clicked on it. I go, all right, 2 of 2.
Oh, no, I think you're the only one right now. I signed up as the lead, but I think I might have said 1 of 2. Yeah. So there's one more spot.
I'll take Paisley. She's nice and strong.
Paisley's been voluntold. Oh, that sounds good.
Well, just a question. Do you load the equipment on Friday afternoon, so you're ready to leave on Saturday, or is it all getting loaded Saturday morning?
The idea was that it would all get loaded Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have anyone in the warehouse on Friday as of now. But that's why I was hoping it would be maybe a kit that could just get rolled onto the truck so it's not a project.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good idea, Paisley. I like it. Okay.
Our last volunteers, actually, Thea, just to kind of fill in a little more about operations. Our last volunteers in the warehouse are on Thursday for the sorting and distribution. And then they load the truck with all the boxes that go out for distribution. And then nobody's usually at that warehouse when the truck makes it back. So then the truck is, there's no one at the warehouse to put anything in the truck. And then the volunteers that did the distribution aren't going to be reloading it for the Saturday, just because it's a totally different program from the distribution to the fruit. So just kind of keeping things clean so
That's
the right
that's a little
people know
problem that
what's on the
don't wanna be
truck.
front-
Yeah, the gleaners know what gleaning equipment's on the truck because the sorters wouldn't be as keen.
Yeah,
Okay.
Saturday mornings, there is a crew there from 10:30 to 11:30. So there will be people there at that time, but I don't know,
that's not the right time.
you guys are maybe,
So
They should already kind of be out the
what time
door
you're cleaning?
it,
Right.
as
Oh,
early
8
in the
a.m.
morning as possible. Like, yeah, 9 o'clock is when everyone should probably be meeting out at that site.
so
Okay.
so what we should tell the people on Thursday after distribution, when Ed and I got back, we backed up. I think we left all the boxes in there because he knew that there was a Saturday or somebody coming before Tuesday. That's what he said. But I might be all wrong. But we backed it up. We didn't offload any boxes. So it's empty boxes. So those boxes would probably just sit
Yeah,
there until-
usually they do usually sit there until Tuesday. Usually, right now, Ashley unloads it on Tuesday mornings, but we'll have to change that now.
Because you need, because if I have to sit there and offload the thing with like 30, 40 boxes, I know we made it smaller and put them somewhere. And he says, don't put them on the floor, stuff like that. And then I'm going to be much later arriving at the Glean because then I have to offload, reload the truck back and forth. So maybe the thirsty people with the empty boxes, just put them on shelf somewhere. Or
We're trying to get rid of those boxes, and I'm trying to move to these lug totes that can be sanitized for our food distribution. And so then when we recollect them, they all stack inside nest. They all nest
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
of each other,
that's
and
what
they
we-
Is
should
the
not
parcel,
be
have they been
the.
ordered?
They have not yet been ordered. So these totes that nest inside each other, you would be collecting them, or the Thursday route and Tuesday route would be collecting them each time. But I guess what I'm saying is they also could just be put on a pallet and pulled out or grabbed as a big pile. I don't know what 20 of them weigh at one time, but they all stack inside of each other, so they're less klutzy as those
I just know the
banana
cardboard
boxes.
boxes, you can get 3 inside of each other. And then
Yeah.
it's just like, what-
Yeah.
we got back.
Well, hey, Robert, way back in the day, we had banana boxes, apple boxes, plum boxes,
Mhm.
other weird shaped boxes. We were just looking for enough boxes.
Right.
Going and harvesting fruit was half the challenge. The other challenge was coming up with cardboard boxes and going to the stores and gleaning their cardboard boxes. And so, yeah, no, I will totally have a problem with too many banana boxes these days. At least they all fit together. But yeah, we're trying to get over to totes because they are a little klutzy.
Okay.
And they can get dirty, those cardboard boxes.
Yeah. At the garden, I help out with, we finally transitioned to like food safe containers. And I'm like, it's such an improvement not having cardboard boxes, not having to go to Costco and like load up on cardboard boxes.
Now, do you leave these food safe containers then at the different spots where you distribute food?
We just distribute to one place, so it's pretty simple. We just like swap them out, you know.
Well, I know. Just we pulled into the first place on Port Orchard on Thursday, and it looked like they just emptied the boxes and threw them out there where we dropped them off the first time. They never put them inside or anything. It was just they were all piled up in a mess. And it's just,
Oh,
they were just picking food out of boxes and just leaving the box on the ground. And then when we come back in 2 weeks, there's just a big pile of boxes. I don't know if they've been
Yeah.
weathered or rained on or anything. It's just like a mess.
yeah, they're not ideal, but yeah, it will be nice to get these lug totes though.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Gleaning. I did have a little thing like who wants to sign up for Gleaning, and Paisley and Ire and Thea, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I would love it if you guys could all like sign up for one of those slots, just so that you guys get a sense of like this new process. And then you guys are able to help volunteers get trained up and do this, because I don't know if you saw, I was thinking about like, what does the training process for a Glean planner look like? And I kind of came up with this list. And one of the things I think they should do is have one like training session with another Glean planner, somebody who's done it before, just to like be able to go alongside of somebody. And I think that kind of the idea would be that me and Alan do this first one together, and then Alan's now kind of trained up to train other people. But if you guys can kind of take 1 week or one time slot as well, that would be really helpful, I think, for future volunteers. And then I think getting a sense of like, how long is this going to take and what does this all involve and things like that. So I don't know what you think about that, Paisley. I don't know.
I think that's no, I'm totally on board. I mean, Stephanie, if you're not here, there needs to be board members and staff or people that are, you know, like home base with Kitsap Harvest that understand how this operation and the mechanics of putting it together work, you know, so that we can be helpful with volunteers, and also just like understanding that process in case a volunteer is tripping through the program or through part of that process. We can go in and be able to help with it and understand what it is they're dealing with. Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be great to get, you know, Thea, please.
Yeah,
And
no,
then, yeah.
I'm on board to sign up. The only weekend I'm not available is the 19th of July.
Okay.
I've
And then
got
some
a
of this,
camping event.
I'm a little jealous. Also some of that volunteering isn't on the weekend. You know, like the planning position, that's something you kind of, I think, do during the week, or like it doesn't happen all at once. And it's like that pre-planning to get to that weekend event, but you don't have to be a part of the weekend event. It's just getting it ready for others. And I think, I mean, I know that's one of the places I'm interested in, really understanding how it comes together and how that planning, like how people make decisions based on where things are clustered and what they find out on the phone, or however that discovery process looks. Yeah. Yeah, because, and I think it's going to take more than 1 week to get. I think there's a little bit of learning how to do it and then learning how to finesse it. You know, like you start to learn and understand things that you don't just understand that first go around. You start to get, like, you understand the right questions to ask. There's things you start to learn as you do the work a bit longer. And I think that kind of position is going to take a little of that finessing. And so, yeah, the more of us that know how to use it and are comfortable with it, the better we can be helping someone else become comfortable and familiar. Write down more better notes and more better notes. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I know we haven't even gotten there yet, but I know, you know, in the future you learn more stuff and you're like, hey, anyway, yeah.
nightly.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Okay, good. I'm glad you're on board,
One-
Pace. What was that, Ire?
Is making sure that we're getting all of the. I want to make sure that we're getting all of the, like, for example, just July gleans on the Point app and making sure that at least one experienced person is signed up for each of them. And I think that's a big board ask also to say, hey, we need board members to step into this. Pick one, sign up.
Yeah.
Well, unless we come up with other leads or other site checkers, all we have is a couple board members, Ed and Alan. I saw Jenny was on the invite, or I saw something, and she's
Yeah.
done the work before. She could as well. And then a Glean lead and a site checker. Like, I don't think it needs to be Alan or Ed as Glean leads. I think that is something many volunteers could feel comfortable doing. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of kind of getting the word out and pulling them in so they can sign up. I think one of the more technical positions again is going to be around that planning piece.
Mhm.
But anyone who's like, oh, I wanted to say, well, but I did the pitch to Stand Up for Kids, and they got a bunch of our door hangers and brochures, and they're going to hand those out to the Running Start students. So those are students who have already finished their associates and they're like 16 and they got their license and they're looking for experience and writing scholarship resumes. I don't know, but yeah, anyway, we had a few folks that were really excited to get involved in this maybe over the summer that typically volunteer for Stand Up for Kids, but they don't do that during the, Backpack for Brigade. They don't do that during the summer. So those volunteers, we're going to try to get them to come over here to Kitsap Harvest.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay. Cool. So, going on in some of the things I was thinking about, taking over or like leadership of these meetings. And again, I don't think that these meetings have to be like one person talking, like maybe it has been like just me talking at you guys. But I would hope that it's more of like a conversation and just a place to feel supported and iron out those wrinkles that might be appearing. So Ire had a really great idea that we do like a rotating leadership. And so it'd just be like, you can sign up for a week to be the leader, and then you're just the one who's emailing out beforehand, starting the meeting. I guess we could try to even like give out the Zoom login. I don't know what you think about that, Paisley. I know it's just hard because I think if you don't have a paid Zoom account, then you only get 45 minutes, I think. So I don't know.
Oh, you mean for the person who's hosting? Yeah, there's actually for your hosting person. So your facilitator, what I would say, okay, the liability is access to other people's information and making that totally available to whoever signs up. So you still need to have your inside person who is then able to provide that to your facilitator, the person that's going to lead the meeting. They then, I guess your facilitator doesn't do the emailing. They aren't privy to having access to all of that information unless there's like some secondary Glean group and everyone opts in that, yeah, their information's available to the group. Like when you CC, have an email with everyone's email on it. You're like, everyone's like, are you cool with that? Or are you upset that your email is included? I don't mean to go off into, details, but I do know that that's one of those like firewalls that we as an organization need to look out for our volunteers, that we are not making their information available just big and open. So, yeah. I do like the idea of a rotating facilitator. But I don't know about a rotating planner for like organizing the call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Okay.
even with your planner, like I don't know if you want a different planner each week. Again, it's going to take a little finesse and training to kind of get the touch. I think it's kind of like someone who drives for you. It's one of those dedicated positions, and yeah, you want to get other people on the bench so you're not the only one. Um, but you really want it to be 2 or 3 people, not. And this will also reduce the amount of information that's just available out to people, like who has access to that information. And then last, maybe like the warehouse login for those volunteers that are entering data. You would have a similar sort of login that limits what information can be seen. That might be another way of doing that. But then again, all of your volunteers need to kind of opt in and say, yes, I'm okay with having this amount of information seen.
Well, for a clean planner, you said that we got to shadow somebody who knows what they're doing, like Stephanie or Alan or maybe Ed. I don't know if Ed's done it before. Just shadow them for 1 week, and maybe they do the next 3. Because I always know that repetition is great. If you can repeat, you'll learn it quicker than doing it once and then waiting a week and then doing another. Maybe if you do the next 3 with somebody looking over your shoulder, saying, "Okay, what do you think of that, Stephanie? I know you. I know you're in Scotland, but I still need to talk to you, or whoever, or Alan." But it's like have somebody like you're gonna have you and Stephanie and Alan. Maybe you take a third person as a UI under instruction by their name, and they just kind of see how it all goes the first week. Then okay, I can do that for mine on the second week. Then the third and fourth, you get into a role, and then the next person that you want to train up to be planner, he comes on at the second month, and then the person that just learned his 3 weeks or whatever, he can pass over the information the next planner needs, and then you have everybody start. Then you get 2 great planners, and then you work on a third one. Then you get a third one at the third month, the fourth month, and you just kind of work down the road and get people experienced instead of just. If I had to do it, watch you do the first one and then go, okay, and the second one. If I didn't have a chance to relearn, or learn what you had taught me right away, and I might end up forgetting where or what my notes look like and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get 3 people all trained up, or maybe 4 or 5, if you have that many volunteers that want to do planning, then you have more confidence. And everybody makes sure they're all saying the same information over and over and over. And
Yeah.
that's
No,
an
I
idea.
think it's a really good idea. I just wish we had more time, Robert.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It's like, I think this is like a new thing that we're trying. And so I think there is going to be that learning curve, and hopefully that's like, I think a really good goal for like, even like next year, or like, yeah, when we're training up new people, it's like, here, let's have you do this multiple times. But like right now, I'm just thinking like, okay, we need to get like people on, like scheduled and just like doing it, Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
But no, I think that's really
But
good.
yeah, I'll put together like a little task assignment, little thing I used for the Navy, and see if and run it by you and say, what do you think? This has names
Yeah.
on it. Has everybody's name. I know Airtable has all the names. Airtable has a lot of data, and I don't know if they do. Point has the names, but me not being a high enough level in Point as a potential planner, I can't see who's been assigned to a task or not. Or can I like the overall picture?
Yeah, I was thinking we would share the login for the warehouse. The warehouse has a point login, and so you would log in it to the warehouse account, and then you'd be able to see more stuff. And again, that's
Or maybe another idea would be, if you have a Glean lead that's knows what they're doing, that been trained up in the past, maybe that'll be your team leader of all the other Glean leads, and you go to him or her and say, all right, who's the next guy in waiting to be the next Glean lead, or
Mhm. Mhm.
for names for like a task assignment or something.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
the planner goes to this one person every time and goes, okay, hire, who do you have this week for a lead? And I would go, use this person for a lead, use this people for, I don't know all the positions. But
Mhm. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
could eventually grow to that if, as the organization grows bigger and you have more volunteers, and then more volunteers means people can have little their own assignments and do this and that down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is tricky because, yeah, like Paisley was saying, we don't want to just have them given access to all this stuff, but also that is something that is required to do these planning things, right? And so
Yeah.
it's that whole like, okay, we want this to be volunteer run and we want the volunteers, but then there's also like, but we can't let them in past a certain point, and then and so yeah, that's just tough. So
Well, you
I
have
think
to, I don't think you have to tell the volunteers everything. You just say show up at 9 o'clock at this place on Saturday, and that's it. And you'll be working until noon. And but
Mhm.
everybody else that's in the internally, it's Kitsap Harvest. This document can help you know who the team leads are, or the people that are in charge that you want to, for that week, call up and say, okay, I have this little problem with one of your volunteers or whatever, or I have this little problem with didn't show up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just until I do it a few times, or people do it a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I've been like thinking through this so much that sometimes those little details of like, how will the Glean planner know who the Glean lead is and be able to contact them?
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know. I didn't think that through, but they just thought they'd know.
No, they don't. Not unless they see something in writing that says you've been assigned for 8 o'clock in the morning on this day. Be lucky if anybody to show up. Well, nobody told me. It's like, oh, you're supposed to assume. No, assume.
That's the thing too, is like people will sign up on the Point app, and Ire has had this before too, where like they sign up and then they never show up, and it's like, oh, okay.
Then you just pull their point out. Oh, God.
Actually, you can rate people and say like they were a no-show or something.
It's just maybe you have a rule that 2 no-shows and you're gone.
Yeah, but then we're like, we need more volunteers, so we don't want to discount anybody.
Point
There should be a policy about the no-show, and it isn't a 1, 2, 3. You know, it is checking in with the volunteer. Hey, what happened? Hey, next time something like that comes up, this is the number you know, it's having a policy, what you do if you're going to be a no-show, and what to do, and then having that conversation with the volunteer. And then, readdressing it and saying, hey, if it happens again, like on that third chance, if this happens again, we just can't, have you sign up, or you're going to be on pause for a while because we really count on the spaces. And so it then becomes not just a 1, 2, 3, like pushing a button, but it becomes a relationship you're having with that volunteer and whether they're willing to have that relationship back, and that's how we try to keep our volunteers, is by having that relationship. But we really do count on accountability, because we are a volunteer program, and the only way the work gets done is through the help of people and having enough people. Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
I
gotta do
think,
something about no-shows. Once you have three, then you sit down the person and go, please don't sign up unless you're absolutely sure. Because you're taking a spot away from somebody else that could be there, that may want to be there, and they couldn't get in because there's only 20 spots available. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be an issue for your general gleaners. I think it's the glean leads, and I don't know that. I mean, at that point that someone's signing up as a glean lead, I surely hope that they aren't going to be a no-show, because that's kind of a leveled up position of taking on more, responsibility, and you're signing on that you are going to be there because there is only one. There isn't a backup. Um,
Yeah. I
Well,
know.
there's just makes more people above them that are experienced that can step into that position at a last minute notice and go, okay, that means I have to go eat the plums or the apples or check the site or you know.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
I wasn't sure what the glean lead does other than test the fruit, check out the site.
Mm.
I didn't see any of that looked like something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
The two easy ones for me, planning and driving.
that's a site. I think that's a site checker, Robert. The person that tastes the fruit goes out and does the initial check and
Okay.
does that fruit tasting, or like what kind of equipment. I mean, that is a volunteer role. It's very much needed. Um, what was the question about it? Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
before the glean even happens, and that's kind of like on your own scheduled time. I mean, within a window of time.
well, it should be on your
And
test. I mean, who's a scheduled site checker for this week, and then next week, and they're going to go out on Tuesday and probably let you know on Wednesday, the Wednesday meeting, for it's not ready, or it is ready for this weekend.
Sorry, I was
That'd be a
yeah.
good input to the planner.
No, yeah, so the site checker will fill out a form right after they do the site check, and that's gonna go onto Airtable, and that will be a thing that the Glean planner will see. So that data will all be in like one place to see.
Okay.
Yeah. And same with like after Glean, they'll fill out this form, we call it the post Glean form. And then that also, just gives update on like how many volunteers were there and stuff like that. But, oh, I had a thought. I was kind of spacing for a second. Or just reading. Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't know.
Don't worry, things will go well. Just think positive, they'll go well.
Yeah, it's gonna go so great. And like we've done this before, right? So like if certain things, Kitsap Harvest has gleaned for a long time. So, if some of these things get dropped a little bit, it's like it'll probably still be okay. But I don't know. Hopefully this is the underlying structure for growing and getting bigger and picking a lot of fruit. So yeah. Yeah. But I appreciate all your questions and your enthusiasm. So Robert, are you thinking you want to sign up as a Glean planner as well as an equipment wrangler? You want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've signed up for that, and I've signed up for if Ira lets it go through Thursday morning pickups.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Because
wow.
I saw Thursday afternoon distribution. She already has a couple that does that pretty regularly. And I signed up for some in July and August, and she talked to me about that. And I go, yeah, you can take me out of that. But I didn't notice that the people that picked up the stuff from the food banks, like Paisley and I went up to Central Kitsap on my first try and picked up food there and brought it back for sorting and distribution. Then somebody else delivered it later or distributed it later on. And it was two separate drivers. So I saw openings there, so I grabbed a few driver spots
Okay,
Well, we
nice.
might have
for July in the morning.
Yeah, we might have another distribution route coming up, and it'll be on Tuesdays. And we don't yet have a driver assigned to that possible route, but it would be going up to the Suquamish area. And I don't know if that would be in our truck or if that's going to be a smaller, like in a personal vehicle, but that will be a distribution route that's going to take place throughout the summer, and we'll be looking for drivers.
Yeah,
look-
like right now, we have Joy driving most every Thursday unless she needs a substitute
Who?
every Thursday morning.
Who's this?
And so Joy,
Joy. All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it just said two spots. I
positions
go,
are
all right, I'll
all
grab the other one.
scheduled.
I'll find out who the other
Yeah.
person is.
There's somebody. Yeah, and then if I need a substitute, then I usually reach out to who can sub for them, but we will be adding the Tuesday afternoon going up to North Kitsap
Okay.
very soon. June 20. Whatever that Tuesday is, the last Tuesday in June.
29.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, it is like almost time. And as you probably know, I like to end this right at 7. So we're not yeah, but I did want to mention to everybody on this call, mostly just Robert, I guess, and Thea maybe. But we do want all our volunteers to register on Airtable, and that's just a quick volunteer registration form. And so if you haven't done that yet, please do that. So it's just confusing because we're like asking everybody to register twice, which is not ideal, but they're just different purposes. So Airtable is, our like kind of big group of data, and then the Point app is where we have those events. And so that's why we ask people to do both. So I can put that in the chat real quick if you guys haven't signed up in that way.
I'm not sure if I have. I know you sent it to me and I played with the table or with the data that you sent me. But you want me to log in and set up an account? Is that what you mean?
So it's just filling out a form. So if you click this link that I sent, I don't know if it's sent yet, but that will bring up a form, and you just fill out the form, click submit, and that just is putting you into our database. It asks more questions than the Point app does.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. I can do it. So
Okay.
what do I put down as a please select all per dollar?
Yep. Well, cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all right. I didn't notice this. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. And I know I said last meeting, I was like, I'm definitely going to email you before the next meeting, and then I never really did. And I had family in town, and I didn't get to as much work as I thought I was going to. But again, we're gonna have that meeting next week, same time, so we can talk more about it. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to connect with Alan and really start working on the actual planning of the first glean, and I will keep you guys up to date on that as well. So yeah, feel free to email me at any
Sounds good. I'm
point.
excited.
Good, thanks. Thanks for being here, Thea.
Thea, do you work during the day, or are you off during the day? Are you retired?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm retired.
All right.
I mean, I work, I'm at home working,
All right.
but
I didn't know if you came to the warehouse because I've met a lot of people at the warehouse.
no, I have not gone to the warehouse. Yeah, there's too many other things going on here right now.
That is okay.
Hey, Robert,
right.
before you jump off, I just wanted to let you know that even though Joy is driving on those Thursdays, you
Yeah.
could also drive with her.
Yeah.
She needs a ride assistant anyways, so I'm not saying don't come. Please come and ride with Joy.
I will. She could drive.
All right.
I'll deliver. I'll pick up.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Stephanie, I'm going to shoot you an email. I went through the Gleaning Volunteer Handbook and I made a few comments. And the email I'm sending you is, I think, an update for the ladder training and the questionnaire. So, Robert, you might be the first test subject to go through the new material.
Okay.
But I wanted something that was maybe a little more specific. You had great notes, and so I went off your notes, Stephanie. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'll follow up with an email. Great seeing you, Robert. Glad
see
you
you,
were here,
Paige.
Thea. Good night, Stephanie and Ire. Good night, all of you.
I know.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Have a good
Stephanie,
evening.
I'll work on something tomorrow and send it to you, Steph.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.